Good evening, everyone. This is Shashwat over here from Design Teenage. Hope you all are doing well. And right now, at this point of time, which we are in, each and every one of you, as we know, has already given your JEE Mains Paper 2 BR first attempt entrance examination. And everyone is worried about, sir, when are the answers going to come up? And most importantly, results. And now it's the time when students are thinking about, so what's next? What should be our upcoming plan and how to move ahead with? So we have one of our students over here to discuss with regarding your JEE Mains 2024 BARC, how did it go? What all was her review and similar things like that. And most importantly, apart from that, one more thing which we will be discussing about is what's next. That is your NATA 2020-24, paper planning, your preparation for the ahead, and most importantly, the upcoming second attempt for which each and every one of you should be ready. Now, most importantly, if you are new to Design Teenage and you are coming to us first and you want to prepare for your NATA 2024 and JEE Mains 2024 entrance examination, just make sure you go to the description box, you get a contact number, connect us, and download the Design Teenage app. Moreover, if you are a student who is preparing for the upcoming year 2025 or the 2026 paper for NATA, JEE, Mains, paper to BR, your UCEED examination, your NID examination, or your NIFT entrance examination, feel free to reach us for any help, for any guidance, and we are obviously there for your preparation. So with this, let's start with the discussion. I will just take a few minutes for the student to join the session, and then I guess we can start on with the session. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, so as I was telling, by the time the students join, let us have a quick discussion about a few things. Now, what few things you might be talking about? So, before we go into this discussion of JEE Mains, now is the NATA entrance exam coming up. Quite a few of you will be asking that, sir, is NATA really that important? Is it Is it a compulsion for us to write the NATA 2024 entrance examination if we want to go for architecture? So just a few things that I would like to clarify for each and every student who is present over here today. The very first thing that we need to understand a few segments in how your architecture entrance exam works and how you're going to get your college admission. First of all, very frankly speaking, if you want to get, okay, the student is here, we will come to this. In short, if you want to get admission via JEE Mains BR, you remember there are a sum of around 10 to 15 colleges, somewhere around 15, 16 colleges under JOSA counseling, which you can take admission into. Any college apart from that, NATA is the only way, and it's the entrance examination taken by the Council of Architecture. Now, some of you might be telling, or there will be a lot of suggestions on YouTube or your this online platforms saying that both the exams are allowed. Yes, we know that. But every year there's a kind of discussion or hodgepodge going on the same. And though there via the Gazette of India, the notifications were made, then I would like to question that very particular person. What is the NATA exam for? Is it not required? Yes, definitely it is. Every state, every counseling, every college you go for to take an architecture admission, give a call to anyone, they will ask you what's your NATA score. So it is the one more utmost important exam that we consider over here, followed by JEE, because it's the secondary level exam for admission, direct admission into colleges and colleges under JOSA counseling, which are less in number, much lesser, somewhere around just 15, 16. And rest, any college in India will ask for your NATA score. We will get more detail in this and more get into more detail about this post we have this discussion with our students Aragad over here, and we will discuss in detail each and everything about BR today. Sarah, am I audible to you? Sarah, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for starting the session a bit late. Can you please turn on your camera so we can proceed with the session? Okay. Hi. So, as discussed earlier, today's session initially, this session is live right now, and I was in another session before, I came for you this very particular JEE mains, how did your exam go and all. We will discuss this, and I'm really sorry. That's the reason why it took me a bit long. Otherwise, I told 8 we will start on with the class. I hope you don't mind, starting the class a bit late for just for today, and I will make sure it never happens again. So just before we proceed for any further discussion, I would just like to know from you how the exam went for you. Like overall, how was the JEE mains paper to entrance exam for you?
So it was fine. The drawing part I did well.
Just
Aptitude
be a bit more
also.
descriptive, it will be good. So people would like to hear that from you. Last time, I guess, NIT entrance exam discussion when we had, I received a few responses telling that, the student should talk a bit more, and they want to hear from you. How did the exam go? What all you think from the student's perspective? Because I hope you understand, everyone listening to this session will be a student. So you are having majority on your side, and I will let you talk and just be a bit more descriptive about each and every nooks and corners of the exam.
Overall, the exam went fine. It was not, very good also because, specifically, I'll tell in my case for the maths part, I had to leave a lot of stuff because I was not quite prepared with that. But with the aptitude and drawing part, I did pretty well, I guess. Like the My issue was that the time was not sufficient for me. So for drawing this time, I could do it in the given time.
Okay, what about the, first of all, in mathematics, I was a bit concerned about that. And most importantly, like any student going for the architecture exam, it's always that maths in JEE is kind of an engineering level. So they ask for, that should we go for it? How many questions should be solved? So I would like to ask from you, how many did you solve? And what is the probability that they are correct, like as far as your thoughts are the same? You don't have the answer key anyway yet. I'm having a few questions over here. I have the answers to them, but this is an unofficial one. So I'd just like to know your thoughts, like how many did you solve? How did it go? What
So
all?
I solved only 4 questions
And
because,
are
yeah,
those four correct? Are you confirmed about them?
out of those 4 questions, one question I checked and that is correct. The
Right.
rest three, I don't remember to check.
Okay, okay, fine, no issues. First of all, like 4 is a bit less, I will say. We expect somewhere around 8. 10 is very good, but somewhere around 8 solved correctly, without any mistakes, can definitely get you a good score. What about aptitude? How did it go for you?
So aptitude, the kind of questions that we had practiced,
Hmm.
those had come and I did them very easily. But there were some questions which were more of general knowledge, like which architect has has designed which famous monument. So for that part, I had to leave those questions. I was not sure, and
All you
then
were not sure, or like some you could, some you couldn't? How is it?
uh,
And
uh,
most importantly, if you remember any such questions, then I guess we can talk about it as well.
so the ones which I left, they were mostly like match the columns. So one side the name of the architect and then the monument. So I knew two or three, but then the rest two I didn't know, or the rest one I didn't know. So I had to leave that.
Got it. Got it. No issues at all. So out of 50, like how many did you solve, and what is the percentage for, or how many from the one you solved do you think is correct?
I solved maybe 25 or 26 because the ones which I solved, they were all those mirror image type of questions. Uh,
Out of
that type.
50, you have solved around 50%, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Fine.
And most, yeah.
What
And
about
the,
the rest?
huh?
What about the rest?
They were this type only. And one question I remember particularly.
No, no, like
Like,
you solved only for 2025 and you couldn't solve the others? Is it what you're
yeah,
saying? And is it due to the time thing again, or like was it?
no, sir. Like, I didn't know. but they were the general knowledge based type question.
Got it, got it. Now, see, it's the first time. This is kind of like we always tell to each and every student that any exam you give, like NATA, also first attempt. Now, definitely, aren't there any student like who has performed well? Definitely, there are students who have performed really well in their first attempt itself. But we are talking about an average one, average performance thing. So this kind of goes for almost every student that the first attempt is not really that well and it comes out good somewhat after that. So we need to take that into consideration and let's plan for like your upcoming attempt, that is your JEE second attempt, and most importantly the NATA exam, because that is what will give you more prospects about colleges. Okay, coming to the drawing part, what do you think of the same?
So drawing part I did well. Like I can say guarantee I did well. The first question was that like we had to draw the exact sketch that was given. So it
Hmm.
was the sketch of a man like pulling a cart,
Okay, okay.
and we had to like draw it the same in detail. So I could do that. And that sketch it had mostly hatching used in it.
Hmm.
So that had practiced well, so I could do that easily. And the other question was that we had to combine different musical instruments to make a 3D abstract sculpture.
Okay. So like there were no, there were two or three questions. How many did you have to solve? Two, right?
Oh, yeah, two.
Yes.
For
Now,
the second one, there was option like the
that's what I'm.
other.
So the
Yeah,
first one was a compulsion one that you have
yeah.
solved, got it. Now, out of this, like your the second one that you are talking about, like wherein there were two options. Which one did you solve? Wasn't there an aesthetic question?
So the one which I solved, it was similar to that kind, like using
Can you repeat the
shapes. It
question
was
once
not
again?
given. Huh?
Can you repeat the question once again?
So we had to combine different musical instruments into a 3D abstract sculpture.
Okay, 3D abstract sculpture. Now, see, definitely you cannot expect over the past 1 or 2 years, or I will say three more than 2 years. It's around 3 years. There were geometrical shapes coming up. Now this year they have given improvised it to something else. So I told you that geometrical, non-geometrical structures combined to bring up an aesthetic composition. That's what is going to come, and that's what they always ask, or they are looking for something like that. So you solved that one itself, right?
Yeah, and the
Wasn't there any portrait or something like that as an option?
no, there was a question that like we are sitting in a football stadium, and
Okay.
then what are we seeing? So we have to draw that.
So it's a perspective
Like a
thing.
match is going on. Yeah,
Okay, okay. And like, you solved this aesthetic one, right? If I'm
yeah.
not. Okay. So how did it go for you? Like, can you just describe what you did in detail?
So I drew like like one tabla I drew like at the and then it had like some drums at the side like coming out of it, and then there was one more instrument. I don't know what it is called, but it's like a trumpet or something like that, which was from one side.
Yeah, if you can just explain what you did, I guess that will be more than enough in detail. Like you don't need to tell the terms or something like that. Just tell like what you have done and what is your motive behind it. Like, how do you portray it for yourself? Like what you have observed from that and what you like what you have tried to convey through that for the examiner or whosoever is the invigilator checking your paper. If you can just
Uh, yeah, so for that, one thing they had mentioned is that it shouldn't match to any uh, a real life a real life object, so it had to be abstract. So I'd like I had only some 20 minutes left with me, so I quickly just combined some instruments so that it looks good, and then I finished the coloring and all. I did very fast.
Okay, okay, got it. No issues. No issues. Fine. So now, like, once you've given this exam, what do you think, like, what are the portions we should be discussing more in detail? What are the things that you will have to improve on? and what all, like, for the next attempt in detail, if I have to talk about that. So what do you think about it?
So most importantly, my maths, I have to go through all the concepts because that's where I left the most. Then from the aptitude part, those are general knowledge type of questions that I have to go through, and that's it. I guess drawing it was still fine. I could do it fast. I didn't take much time.
Okay, got it. Now, see, speaking in short, like I got to know about some maths questions and all, and to some extent, I feel that first of all, coming to the fact that okay, most of the people will be asking that out of 400, what will be the cutoff this year in JEE for BR. So it's a 400 paper. Now, coming to first of all, like your that they don't give any marks. You know that what is the full marks of the paper. I just like to clarify a few points for each and every student who has given this examination, who will be giving, and for you as well. So they don't give any marks. You won't be able to know your marks even. Yeah, now there is a process to know your marks, and it's kind of a little bit rough. It's a time taking process, but you can know it, and you just need to recheck once or twice, and it will take around 5 or 6 hours to calculate. So once the official answer key is released, each question has a question ID. You need to match with your question ID, and so there are different, like paper patterns. Like the paper patterns, or like you can say pattern remains the same. Like your question set is different from the other student, even at the same time who was giving exam. So there were around 5 to 6 sets within that same hall for the students who are giving the exam. Now, so hence you need to match those question IDs and find the answer to your question. Anyways, coming back to the very thing again. So you can, once the answer key is released, each and every student, this is for you, you can just go check out with that answer key, match your question ID, and find out if your answer is right or wrong. And just like a mock test, you need to calculate your own marks. You get a right answer, it's +4. You get a wrong answer, it's -1. You haven't attempted a question, it's 0. In this way, for each and every question, you consider your marks until the end. Definitely. Now, again, in that, you can calculate your marks for out of 300, not 400, because for drawings, you never get to know what you got, right? It's a kind of completely a secret. You never know at all any marks. Yeah, definitely the percentile, segregated percentile you get once the final, your scorecard is released, your results are declared for JEE. You get to see over there what percentile you have scored in drawing separately, aptitude separately, and mathematics separately, and as a whole. Now, JEE will release your percentile thing. So for general category students, I would like to tell this year the expected cutoff percentile, if I have to talk about for paper 2, will be somewhere around, you can expect around 90 to 92 will be the cutoff percentile. 90, I will not say 90, it's around 90.7 or 90.77 it was last year. So somewhere around 91, 92 is going to be this year's cutoff percentile for each and every JEE B.ARCH aspirants. Now, don't confuse it with percentage. Percentage and percentile are completely different things. Percentile states where you stand, among all the students who have written that entrance exam. It states your rank and kind of shows that okay, you are standing in this position. Now, coming back to that thing once again, so hence it states your position and not your percentage. So remember very clearly that 91, 92 percentile definitely does, like it might sound harsh, but it is absolutely nothing for a general category student. 90 or 192 percentile, even 95 percentile is also absolutely nothing. Don't get overwhelmed if you receive your results and you see over there 95 percentile or so. For a general category student, first of all, coming under the college section, I know it's a bit early, but it's better to discuss, and students should be aware about the situation, aware about the absolute knowledge, and they should have the right thing in mind, because there are lots of fake information circling around in web, lots of things on Google, which confuses a lot of students. So coming back to that thing once again, if you are willing to go for admission via your JEE Mains paper 2, we consider JOSA counseling as the prime one, which is a direct admission process after JEE. Now, under that, you get around 15, 16 colleges. And namely, we have around 5 preferences for you. And these are no doubt one of the best colleges in India you can take admission into via your JEE mains paper 2 entrance exam. And these colleges are your SPA Delhi, School of Planning and Architecture, full form of SPA, SPA Delhi, SPA Vijayawada, SPA Bhopal. These are definitely 3 best colleges, particularly dedicated toward architecture and planning. And most importantly, after that, your NIT Trichy, and definitely on top with SPA Delhi, I will include NIT Calicut as well. So NIT Calicut, NIT Trichy, and these 3 SPAs. These 5 are the best colleges that you can get under JEE. Apart from that, you might be now asking, say, you told 15 colleges, 16 colleges, what about the rest? So we don't really prefer any, if you're to, like, for you to join through JEE. Rather, there are much better colleges which you can join after your NATA entrance exam, where the state's counseling. Don't get overwhelmed via some, like, private ranking. I am not naming any, but those are completely vague. Don't get, like, or don't go away with any official ranking, like, which you get. I'm not again naming any, because this rankings doesn't really make any sense. You need to see their students' performance. For that, we have a particular process of checking it. If you are willing to know it, and if you are willing to discuss in detail, you can obviously connect us. Now, coming back again to your the admission process, and a very simple doubt which every student has. I think, Sarah, you also have that doubt, right? If you can get admission into an IIT via JEE entrance exam. Do you have that doubt or no?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, I guess I already cleared it while I had the discussion with your dad. Your dad also asked the same question. Every student and parents in general, they always have it. IIT is such a brand name. And when you hear about that JEE entrance exam is being given by my son, daughter, or anyone in your relatives or someone, you think of, okay, JEE means IIT or NIT is what we are planning for, but that's not of all. So coming back to again your JEE entrance exam you have given. So will you get an admission into an IIT? Most important question of the day. That via your JEE main paper to BR, can you get admission or not? So first of all, I would like to tell that via your, I know this sounds really harsh, this sounds really kind of unfortunate, but via your JEE mains paper to BR entrance exam, you cannot get admission into any IITs. So how many IITs are there? Most importantly, there are 3 actually. Your IIT Kharagpur, IIT Roorkee, and IIT Varanasi, which facilitates your Department of Architecture in their campus. But the thing is that if you want to take admission into an architecture department in an IIT, the process is you write your JEE mains engineering paper, that is your paper 1, followed by which, if you qualify with the correct percentile and you clear the cutoff, you're eligible for advance. That is again, now advance doesn't have any papers, but the exam which you're going to give is for engineering level students only. You qualify in these two, and now when you have an option to get admission into Department of Architecture into an IIT, you will be asked to give AAT Architecture Aptitude Test. This is the process. And hence, we don't recommend any students for going into an IIT with the dream of architecture, because the levels that you have to qualify, it's not meant for you. So if the first 2 steps which you have to cross is not meant for you, you cannot cross, like, you cannot think of architecture in mind as you would be an architect, think of it as in your mind and proceed further, wherein on your left hand side you are preparing for engineering. It's not possible. So hence we do not recommend, neither we do prepare any students for IIT. What you can get is, you have given your JEE mains paper to, you can go for NITs and SPAs via the JOSA counseling. Quote under quote again, every NIT that you get is definitely not good. Don't have that perception of NIT means good. It is not like that. Particularly when we are talking about PR. So most importantly, now comes the other part, that then what about NATA and how it goes. So coming to that in short, we will have discussion in this session that NATA is an entrance exam, just like your 12th exam. You will write the exam, you will get a marks, no ranking, no percentile, nothing. Now with your NATA scorecard and your 12th result, both in one hand each, and the relevant documents, you will apply for each state's counseling, depending upon where you want to go or where you want to proceed. Now, there are several colleges. Again, I am not naming any. But some good colleges like, okay, I can talk about one of the best colleges in India right now, CEPT University. It's located in Gujarat, Ahmedabad. It's really good for architecture and designing students. Now, for the colleges like CEPT, or there are some few other colleges which are the same procedure, wherein they have their own centralized counseling. Now you need to show your documents into their own counseling, and if you are shortlisted, you can get an admission. Now, again, these things are so vast and these have to be discussed so in detail, and these are very subjective depending upon your interest. If you are interested in that, we can go in detail and discuss about that in detail with you personally. So if you need any kind of discussion, any kind of doubts you want to clarify or questions, or queries you have, you connect us separately so we can go in detail. Just I will give an example, like for students who are in Gujarat, if they think this statement, or can I tell them that this statement, what I've just stated, is correct? No, it isn't. For Gujarat students, for students within Gujarat, or if you have done 7 years of your education in Gujarat and you have a domicile certificate over there, then the process is, yeah, definitely you can go via set zone counseling. If you can join them through that with Pan India students, your fee structure will be more, definitely. But you also have another option, that is your ACPC counseling, the state's counseling, via which you can join CEPT. And in that, fee structure is much lesser, and the probability of your joining or your chances of getting admission into the college is more. So this is how it goes. There are different things that we need to discuss about or talk about. It's not so simple, or it cannot be just like, sorted down in just one or two phrases or something like that. Uh, yeah, now one more question which many students have. I will like clarify that also. And these are kind of statements that I am making. So is NATA and JEE both required, or because like last year, or I guess last to last year onwards, somewhere around the starting of 2022, the Gazette of India published by Council of Architecture and all these things came up. And every year, like this has been the thing for quite a few years, wherein every year students ask that, are both the exam compulsory? Can I get admission into a college via JEE, or can I get admission into the colleges under JOSA counseling via NATA? See, as per as the Gazette, it states that you can give any of the one exams, and you are if you are eligible with your PCM 50% and all this stuff, you are eligible to take admission into any architecture college. But it doesn't really work like that. Colleges under JOSA won't allow you to take admission via NATA. I don't really know the process. We don't really know the process over here. And there is no process yet. It is yet to be discovered, first of all. Coming to the other aspect, yes, with your JEE percentile scorecard, there are counselings which have often opened their section for your JEE percentile to be entered. And there are colleges who sometimes have talked about it, but it is not really widely used. You can give a call to a college today, an architecture college, and ask about their 2024 college admissions. The first thing they will ask is, what is your NATA score? Because that is an entrance exam taken by Council of Architecture, and that is what is granted as your final exam for admission into an architecture college, or the result which validates your credibility for an admission into an architecture college. You must understand these things very clearly. Coming to the other aspect side, or the other side of it, is that this is kind of a tussle going on between two big, like or exam conducting authorities. And I feel that I will side with the Council of Architecture thing, or we will side from the Council of Architecture thing over here at Design Teenage, because the facts that we get on record and how the admission process occurs, the NATA exam, you can take it as a compulsory one, and will be of the utmost importance, because apart from those 15, any college you go for within India, they will ask for your NATA score. And most importantly, the other fact is, you cannot like your NATA score and your JEE result are not compatible result. One is given in form of percentile and ranking JEE, and NATA score is given in form of marks out of 200. So results are not compatible. You cannot compare and tell that this result is better, so I will opt for the college with this result. Neither do the colleges can. Now I know there are videos on YouTube. I know there are lots of stuff, lots of people coming up. Again, I'm not naming any, and they are showing thousands of calculations for the same. But nothing is true. These are all something like, some guy driving a Ferrari on his YouTube channel, and at the back of the like end of the day, returning it to the actual owner. So something like that. Uh, Believe me, if you want to go for an architecture college, NATA is an exam that you will have to give, whether you like it or not. And this year onwards, so again, they have introduced their sketching and stuff on paper. So people who are good with sketching, I guess it's the best time that you can start your preparation for your NATA 2024 entrance exam. Yeah, for now, I guess that's it. We will not go much in detail. Sarah, anything you'd like to share for your fellow maths who are giving this entrance exam, or who will be writing the second attempt, or any thoughts of yours for the entrance exam, like who have not given, what should they go through, or what are the things they should keep in mind? Mistakes
So
might be, just sorry for interruption, some mistakes which might you have made and you don't want the other person to make. Anything you'd like to quote?
so the maths part, I'll definitely say like it is uh, no, it is quite tricky. It is of engineering level only, and it is quite tricky. So you should prepare well with the maths part.
Okay, coming to the other
Maths.
two parts.
So again with the aptitude and all, like I remember one question there was they had mentioned one monument, and then they had asked what is the structure it is made up of, what type of material, and
Mhm.
then like I don't remember the options in the question also properly, but that is something which I had no idea, like no idea at all. So I guess that falls just under the general knowledge part. So they should be like, well versed with that.
Okay, got it. Now, the most important thing is we need to, if once we get the paper, we need to go through the whole paper and try to see, what are the kind of questions that came in and discuss in detail about the same. So we will be getting the paper once the official answer key is released. We'll have the actual, like the final exam paper in our hands. So we can go through each one of those questions, try to identify the type, and practice at least 10 or 20, similar questions of that type. And most importantly, I guess, wherever and however you are preparing from, like it is to everyone, the main target that you should focus for is, at the end of the day, you will have to score marks. Just say something same, at the end of the day, all this preparation for entrance exam, getting admission into a good college, nothing matters until and unless you get a good job at the end of your college life, or get away with a good successful career. Might not be at the end of your college life, might be after a few years of the same. So similarly, everything, right now matters about how you prepare, what you prepare, absolutely doesn't matter. You need to have the right knowledge, the right way, the right logics for you to be applied in the final exam, and then get a good score to clear your cutoff and get away with, any student who is any other student who is giving the exam. Now, this is what your target should be. From our side, we will try each and every student of ours should get the best score. Now, always, as I tell that, life is always not win-win. It's a win-lose, a curvy manner in which it goes. So we will have to accept that. In the same way, you will have to accept the facts, but definitely your trial, or your try should be that I will be the best and I can do the best as far as what you have done beforehand, not in comparison with anyone else. So with this, I guess we will be concluding this live session over here. If you want to discuss anything in detail, anything you want to know from our side, any queries, any questions, and anything about the preparation you want to discuss with us, kindly contact us on the contact number given in the description box, or you can just download the app and we will contact you from our side. That's all for each and every one of you watching us live on YouTube. We are ending the session over here. We will be back with some classes for you. We will be back with some, descriptive sessions for you. And a most important, an alumni of ours, we will have a session with her, might be within this upcoming week. Regarding, she was a student over here, I guess last year, 2023. So she's presently in, your bricks Pune. That is one of the best colleges in India, I will have to tell. And what is her review about the degree? First of all, that is the most important thing for each and every one of you right now. And that, are you choosing the right career? So we will come with that session wherein she will discuss about her choices about college, how she got into bricks Pune, and what is her review about the same, what all she has to face within the first year of college, how did the courses and everything went, and most importantly, like, what exam preparation, or how, like, did she prepare last year, what all did she has to face, and all these things. And also, again, within the next 10-15 days, we are coming up with another alumni from JJ College of Architecture, most anticipated, I guess, for each and every one of you. So we will discuss in detail about that. That's all for now, guys. See you all in the upcoming sessions, and make sure you connect us for any help, any queries that you all have. Thanks a lot. We are ending this live session over here.